Welcome back, friends. Hope we are doing well and you are safe in your home. Okay, so take precautions. So during such pandemic situation, you should take care of yourself and your family and of your surrounding also. Okay, so we are going to start with the further session of the angular measurements. Myself, Assistant Professor Nitish Mohite. So in this session, we are going to see the points, that is bearings of the lines, types of bearings, designation of magnetic bearing, whole circle bearing, that is WCB, quadrantal bearing, radius bearing, that is RB, then conversion from WCB to RB, that is whole circle bearing to radius bearing or quadrantal bearing, then fore bearing, concept of fore bearing and back bearing, then magnetic declination, dip of the magnetic needle, and local attraction. So all these points we are going to discuss in this session. So moving further, we'll see one by one. So starting with first, bearings of lines. So the bearing of a line is the horizontal angle which it makes with the reference line, that is meridian, depending upon the meridian. Okay, so that is nothing but it is certain kind of horizontal angle which is measured with respect to a north direction. Okay, that is nothing but your meridian. Okay, and for this purpose we use one instrument that is called as a compass, in which a freely suspended needle is there, so that we can measure the horizontal angle of the survey line. Okay, so that is linked with the bearings of the lines. So there are various types of bearings. So first one is true bearing, or it is also known as meridian. Okay, so that it is nothing but the horizontal angle between the true meridian and the survey line. Okay, so the true bearing is nothing but the angle which is been measured between the true meridian and the survey line. Okay, so the true bearing is been measured from the true north in the clockwise direction. So basically, correspondingly, the geographical north which has been fixed up, okay, or geographical meridian which has been fixed. So with respect to that, whatever is the angle that has been measured, that is horizontal angle, and that of the survey line, that it is called as the true bearing. Second one is the magnetic bearing or meridian. So the magnetic bearing of a line is the horizontal angle which the line makes with the magnetic north. So what is the basic difference? In this case, a freely suspended needle is there, and with respect to that only, whatever is the angle which has been measured, that it is nothing but your horizontal angle. But this angle which has been measured, it is with respect to the true north. Okay. Next type of bearing is arbitrary meridian, and correspondingly another is grid meridian. So arbitrary meridian is nothing but dealing with your, we are knowing that in sometimes for the survey of a small area, a convenient direction is assumed as meridian. Okay, so randomly it has been chosen, so that it is called as arbitrary meridian. And the starting line of a survey line, that it is taken as the arbitrary meridian, and with respect to that, whatever is the angle which is been measured, that is called as arbitrary bearing. Grid meridian is like that only. So for preparing a map, some state agencies assume several lines parallel to the true meridian for a particular zone. So these lines that are termed as grid lines, and the center lines as the grid meridian, and the bearing which has been measured, it is called as grid meridian. So you'll get the concept clear from this sketch. What do you mean by true meridian or bearing and magnetic bearing? Okay, so this is the geographical north or correspondingly true north. Whatever is the angle which has been measured with respect to that, so that it is called as true bearing. And the angle which has been measured by a freely suspended needle, okay, that it is called as magnetic bearing. And the difference between them, that is true bearing and that of the magnetic bearing, the difference is called as magnetic declination. So that term we are going to see later on, but get the concept clear that true bearing is nothing but correspondingly angle which is been measured with respect to the true north, and magnetic bearing is nothing but by a freely suspended needle from that angle which has been measured, that it is magnetic bearing. Okay, moving to the next point, designation of the magnetic bearing. So we are making that horizontal angle is been measured, so there is certain designation, okay, for magnetic bearing. So there are, first one is whole circle bearing, that is in short WCB we call it as. Then next is the quadrantal bearing, and third one is the reduced bearing. So we'll see one by one. So basically the quadrantal bearing and reduced bearing are one and the same because we are reducing to the quadrants. So we'll see one by one, you will get the idea clear. Whole circle bearing. So the magnetic bearing of a line, okay, that is the horizontal angle which has been measured in the clockwise direction from the North Pole towards the line, that is of the survey line, that it is called as the whole circle bearing of that line. And such values of whole circle bearing of that survey line varies from 0 degree to 360 degree. Okay, so I will repeat, whatever is the angle that is been measured with respect to the north, okay, pole towards the line of the survey line, that angle, whatever has been there, that is nothing but the angle or the bearing of the line of the survey line. Okay, so we'll take an example. Suppose this is my survey line. Okay, so whenever I am going to measure with respect to the north pole, so this angle, whatever it is, so it is 45 degree. Okay, so this is my angle, that is whole circle bearing of the line AB. Okay, suppose this is my station A at which I kept my compass, and this is my survey line. So this is AB, 45 degree. Suppose my line is lying here. Suppose here it is survey line. So AC is my survey line. The angle which is been measured, here it will be the whole circle bearing of the line AC will be 135 degree. Suppose it is lying here. Okay, correspondingly it will be, suppose this is my AD line, survey line. Correspondingly, so, whole circle bearing of line AD is 225 degree, and so on. So the values of the angle or bearing lies from 0 degree to 360 degree. Okay, so these are the examples: 26 degree, 121 degree, 245 degree, 350 degree. Okay, so likewise, it is the whole circle bearing. And basically, in order to measure the whole circle bearing of a line, prismatic compass is being used. Okay, for measuring whole circle bearing, prismatic compass is being used instrument. Next is the quadrantal bearing. In short, we call it as QB. Okay, so in this case, the bearing of a line or the angle which is being measured, it is with respect to the north pole or with respect to the south pole only. And the bearings which are going to be seen in the instrument, that are in terms of quadrants. So as the name indicates, quadrantal bearing, so all the bearings or angles will be in terms of corresponding quadrant: northeast, southeast, southwest, or northwest. Likewise, okay, so you can see here, so they are been measured with respect to either north or south pole. So this is not restricted to only clockwise as compared to whole circle bearing. In whole circle bearing, only in clockwise direction only the angles are being measured, not in the anti-clockwise. But in the case of the quadrantal bearing, the angles are being measured in clockwise as well as in anti-clockwise direction, that is with respect to south, whether it might be in the anti-clockwise towards east or in the clockwise directions towards the west. Okay, so suppose this is my line, survey line AB. So my quadrantal bearing will be north 45-degree east. Okay, so quadrant is northeast and angle it is 45. Similarly, my angle is here again 45. So from south, whatever the quadrantal bearing will be, so survey line AC will be having quadrantal bearing as south 45-degree east. Why? Because this quadrant is southeast. So likewise, suppose it lies in this quadrant, so south angle west. Suppose it lies here, so it will be correspondingly north angle west. Okay, so for example, so it is north 26-degree east, south 59-degree east, south 56-degree west, north 10-degree west, etc. So these are the certain examples. Okay. Next one is the reduced bearing. So when the whole circle bearing of a line is converted to quadrantal bearing, okay, so now we have seen what do you mean by WCB and what do you mean by QB, that is quadrantal bearing. Okay, so whenever the angles are been given or the bearing are been given in terms of whole circle bearing, and we are interested in converting it to quadrantal bearing. Okay, so in that case, this bearing is termed as reduced bearing. Okay, so it is similar to the quadrantal bearing only, in which the values lies between 0-degree to 90-degree. Okay, so here you can get an idea that here are the quadrants. Northeast is the first quadrant, second quadrant is the southeast, southwest is the third quadrant, and northwest is the fourth quadrant. Okay, so we'll take an example for each of the survey line AB, AC, AD, AF. Okay, and we'll see how the correspondingly angles are being measured. Okay, so whenever my line is lying going to lie in first quadrant, so we are supposed to convert it. Okay, so WCB is lying between 0-degree to 90-degree. So angle here will be correspondingly 0-degree. Okay, here it will be 90-degree. Here it will be 180-degree. Here it is 270-degree, and 0-degree is itself 360-degree. Okay, so 0-degree is itself 360-degree. So whenever I'm interested in converting the whole circle bearing of the line AB in terms of RB, okay, so quadrant is northeast, angle is 0 and 90-degree. So correspondingly, whatever is the angle, it will remain same. Okay, so north angle east, that will be the quadrant. But suppose the line is lying in second quadrant, that is AC is the line. Okay, so that angle is lying between 90-degree and 180-degree. So in order to convert in terms of RB, that is reduced bearing, we have seen that we are going to measure it with respect to north or with respect to south only. Okay, so here the angle will be, total angle is 180-degree. So 180-degree minus angle. Okay, so whatever is the angle here present, that we are going to deduct and write it with respect to the south. Okay, so that angle will be south angle, that is beta east. So I written quadrant here and 180-degree minus whole circle bearing. Whereas when the line survey line is going to lie in the third quadrant, that is AD, the angle is between 180-degree and 270-degree. Okay, so in order to calculate the RB, in order to convert the corresponding WCB into RB, okay, we are going to deduct whole circle bearing because we are having this angle. Okay, so this angle will be deducted from 180-degree. Okay, and you will get the said quadrantal bearing or reduced bearing. Okay, that is south angle, whatever is this angle theta, west, that I have written here. And correspondingly, whenever the line is lying here, AF in the fourth quadrant, okay, the angle will be from here. total, because we are knowing that it is comprising from 0 to 360 degree. Okay, so the angle is lying between 270 degree and 360 degree in order to calculate with respect to north. So 360 degree minus this angle, that is whole circle bearing, will give me the radius bearing, and quadrant will be northwest. So this is the procedure in order to convert from WCB to RB. So just take care that which value is to be there and in which quadrant it is to be located. That you are supposed to take it carefully while solving the problems. So moving further, the next concept is of forebearing and that of back bearing. So what do you mean by forebearing? We were calling it as bearing. Okay, so it is nothing but the horizontal angle which has been measured with respect to the north. Okay, of the survey line. So here in this case, you can get an idea that A and B are the two station points. Okay, and certain theta angle and theta one are the angles that are being mentioned here also, and here also. And certain forebearing and back bearing is being written. So what do you mean by that forebearing and back bearing? So forebearing is nothing but the bearing of a line which is been measured in the forward direction. So A to B is the forward direction. So from A to B, it is the forward direction, and correspondingly that the angle which has been measured here, that is the theta, by keeping the compass at A and holding the ranging rod at B, whatever is the angle which has been measured, that it is called as forebearing. When the instrument is shifted and kept at B and ranging rod is held at A, okay, the bearing which has been called or measured in the backward direction of the survey line, because AB is my survey line. Okay, so whatever is the bearing which has been measured here in the backward direction, that it is called as back bearing. Okay, or the bearing of a line which has been measured in the direction opposite to the survey is called as back bearing, that is BB. Okay, so forebearing here it is from A it is theta, from B back bearing it is theta 1. But whereas when the instrument we are going to start from B, okay, so my forward, suppose it is this direction, so forebearing of line BA will be this theta, and back bearing of AB will be theta 1. Okay, so in general, the forebearing is nothing but the bearing measured in the forward direction, and back bearing it is nothing but measured in the opposite direction of the survey line. Okay, so that was dealing with the forebearing and the back bearing. Moving to the next point. So there are certain points in case of forebearing and back bearing that we are supposed to remember. Okay, so whenever we are going to do the calculation in the WCB system, that is whole circle bearing, the difference between back bearing and the forebearing, it should be plus or minus 180 degree. Okay, because here you can get an idea. Okay, so suppose this is my line. Okay, this is the north, this is the north. So we are telling it this as, this is the angle theta. Okay, and here is the backward back bearing. Okay, so we are knowing that, so they are opposite angles. Okay, reverse angle correspondingly. So the difference between this forebearing and that of back bearing should be 180 degree. Okay, so plus sign we are going to use when the angle is less than 180 degree, and when the angle is more than 180 degree, you are going to deduct it. Okay, that is in order to calculate the back bearing. Okay, so suppose forebearing of the line AB is 30 degree. Okay, so the back bearing will be how much? It should be plus 180 degree because it is less than 180 degree. So correspondingly 30 degree plus 180 degree, that is 210, will be my back bearing of the line AB, that is BA. And suppose the angle it is 240 degree. Okay, so we are supposed to deduct it. Correspondingly, the back bearing will be 60 degree. So when it is less than 180 degrees, so we are supposed to add it. So we will get the back bearing. Okay, and correspondingly, when it is greater than 180 degree, you are supposed to subtract it and calculate the back bearing of the said line. Whereas whenever you are going to deal with the quadrantal bearing system, that is QB system, the fore bearing and back bearing are numerically equal. Okay, the values are going to remain same. The angles, that is, okay, whatever is the horizontal angle of bearing, that are going to remain same, but the quadrants are just opposite. So take an example. If the fore bearing of the line is north 30 degree east, so first quadrant we are knowing that it is northeast. So suppose the angle it is 30 degree. So as I told you, the angle is going to remain same. Only the quadrants are going to change. Okay. So instead of north, it will be south, and instead of east, it should be west. So correspondingly, if the fore bearing of line AB is north 30 degree east, then its back bearing will be south 30 degree west. Okay. So these points we are supposed to remember whenever we are going to deal with WCB system, or in the case of quadrantal bearing system. Moving further to the next point, that is the magnetic declination. Okay, so what do you mean by magnetic declination? So we have seen that the horizontal angle which has been made between the magnetic meridian and the true meridian. Okay, so here you can see, so this is nothing but our correspondingly true meridian or true north, and this is the magnetic north. Okay, so whatever is the angle been made, this theta, okay, that is nothing but correspondingly magnetic declination. Okay, so it has been represented by theta. Okay, and this is also nothing but second, whenever the north end of the magnetic needle, okay, so whenever the end of the correspondingly magnetic needle is towards east side, okay, so now it has been tilted towards the east side, okay, of the true meridian. So the position is termed as declination east. Okay, so this is called as declination east, and whenever the needle is been tilted towards the west, it is called as declination west. Okay, so here you can get a clear idea. So with respect to true meridian, okay, so when it is been tilted towards east, so it is called as declination east, and whenever it is been tilted towards the west, with respect to true meridian, that is the suspended needle, free suspended needle, it is there, it is called as declination west. Okay, moving towards the next point, that is the dip of the magnetic needle. Okay, so if the needle is perfectly balanced before magnetization, it does not remain in the balanced position after it is magnetized. Okay, so this is due to the magnetic influence of the earth. Okay, the needle is found to be inclined towards the pole. Okay, and this inclination of the needle with the horizontal angle, with respect to the horizontal, is known as the dip of the magnetic needle. So it is found that the north end of the needle is deflected downwards in the northern hemisphere, and that its south end is deflected towards in the southern hemisphere. So the needle is just horizontal at the equator. To balance the dip of the needle, correspondingly a rider is provided along with it. So the rider is placed over the needle at a suitable position to make it horizontal. So that is regarding the concept dip of the magnetic needle. Next one concept is of the local attraction. Okay, so what do you mean by local attraction? So correspondingly, it is termed it is a term nothing but used to denote any interference. Okay, so it is a term which is used to denote any interference, such as the attracting forces which prevents the needle from pointing to the magnetic north in the given locality. So now we are going to conduct such kind of measurement of bearing of the line by making of the compass. So in which there is a freely suspended needle. Okay, and correspondingly the needle, as it is suspected to said magnetic field, okay, so there are chances of getting wrong results in such a case whenever you are going to enter it in the area where there is a presence of magnetic field. So what are the correspondingly examples of that magnetic fields. So magnetic substances like iron ore, steel structures, electric cables, or transformer, or even your said watch or mobile. Okay, whenever you are going to keep it just or hold it just nearby the compass, either it might be prismatic compass or the surveyor compass, the needle which is freely suspended, it correspondingly diverts from its north direction. And why it is so? Because it is due to the magnetic field. Okay, so to detect the presence of the local attraction, the forebearing and the back bearings of the lines should be taken. Okay, and if the difference of the forebearing and the back bearing of the line is exactly 180 degree, then we can call it as there is no any kind of local attraction, because we have seen that whenever the bearing of the line is been measured, that is forebearing and the back bearing, it should have a difference of 180 degree. Okay, and if you are having any kind of doubt that there is presence of the magnetic field in the ground where you are going to conduct the survey work, in that case you should take the forebearing and back bearing. If the difference comes out to be 180 degree, there is no correspondingly presence of local attraction. But if the difference is not equal, that is if they are not differing by 180 degree, then the needle is said to be affected by local attraction. So we are supposed to correspondingly find out the error. Okay, and correspondingly that it is to be distributed equally among all the four bearing and back bearings of the traverse. Okay, that you will get an idea while we are going to solve the problem. Okay, so there are certain methods of elimination of the local attraction. So first method, it is nothing but, in the first method, true included angle at the affected stations are computed from the observed bearing. Okay, and commencing from the unaffected line and using these include angles, the correct bearing of the successive lines are computed, okay, or calculated. Okay, all these terms whatever are there right now we are seeing here. Okay, so first of all, the include angles are going to be calculated from the correspondingly at the affected stations, and then from that whatever the line it has been unaffected, that we are going to find it out, and from that we are going to start the calculation. Whereas in the second method, which has been commonly used, most commonly used, so in such a case, first of all, only we are going to determine whether the difference between the forebearing and the back bearing of the particular line is been varying by 180 degree or not. If it is varying, then from that station only we are going to start it. That is, the included angles in this case are not been computed, but the amount and direction of error due to local attraction at each of the affected station is found. Okay, at the starting point only, and whatever is the unaffected by local attraction, so the bearing of the successive lines are adjusted by applying the corrections of the observed bearing. Okay, so we are going to check the forebearing and back bearing of the line which is having a difference of 180 degree. So they will be free from local attraction, and further line we are going to go on calculating by using this concepts of the elimination of the local attraction. Okay, so in this session, correspondingly, we have seen the points, bearings, then designation, types of bearings, then what do you mean by forebearing, back bearing, reduced bearing, quadrantal bearing, okay, magnetic declination, what do you mean by dip of the magnetic needle, local attraction. Okay, so here this was regarding the today's session. Okay, if you are having any doubt, you can place a comment. Okay, so do subscribe to my channel. Okay, for getting the updates for the said subject, basic civil engineering. Okay, thank you.